Hello, girlfriends. Coach Misty. So excited to be here. Listen, something happened yesterday. We had a women's meeting at my church, and something powerful came through us just talking through our life issues, doing the life work, right? Showing up to do the work is so important. And so, as we're growing through seasons of life, I discerned something amazing. I learned through this season of my life, and growing through the capacity of increase, right? More responsibility, yet more favor, more doors, more blessings, businesses growing, family growing, everything's growing around me. And yet I have not developed the wisdom to carry out the capacity of my increase, right? And so what I realize in that is I believe as women, we have to learn to stand in our no. And sometimes seasons of having to say no so you can say yes to the assignment and yes to your business plans and yes to your increase and yes to your marriage and yes to your children wherever you're needed. You have a cup, and your capacity of your cup, it requires you to discern the capacity of your cup. It requires you to discern the capacity of your pour. And I thought so deeply into this, and I'm actually preparing to preach a sermon on standing in your no. Why? Because I believe we're overcoming the season of drought and desolation in our lives, and now we're coming into a season of increase, but we now have to learn to steward our cup well so that we can measure out and be okay. So my word to you today is don't give out. In other words, you have to discern where you must pour in this season. You have to discern your capacity to be filled. You have to discern the capacity of your pour. You have to discern the capacity of the filling of someone else, right? And I'm not saying don't be a giver. I'm not saying don't be a blessing. I'm not saying don't give of yourself. I'm simply saying that you have been given a season of increase, which comes with more responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. And it's required of you to steward your cup, right? When you receive your overflow, you now have to give your overflow to others and keep your cup. You got to know that this is so important as we are growing through seasons of life. I'm growing through seasons of increase. It's a blessed season. It's a beautiful season. And yet I'm still held accountable by God to do the things he put before me to do. And now I'm learning to navigate through this increase of my cup, right? The capacity to be able to fill up more so that I can pour out less. And that's a word in itself. What did I learn? I learned that in my refilling, that my pour has to change. What do you mean? Well, my husband says this all the time. You pour, you pour, you pour, you pour. But you pour out so much into people that they can't even receive all that you're pouring. And I used to not be able to receive that from him until this morning as I'm cleaning and organizing. I said, that goes back to my deliverance. I've been given a greater capacity in stretching season and more responsibility and favor. But yet, if I don't change the way I pour out, I'm not going to have the distribution to the places I'm supposed to pour. So now I've come to the revelation, right? And that I'm in a season of growing through increase. And now my pour has to decrease so that I can have enough to pour into all the places, the people, and the things God anointed me for. I pray that my deliverance has been a blessing to you, and may you follow through on the words of wisdom that I just dropped. These are some major nuggets that can bring about major change in your life. So love you guys. If you want to stay connected, go to growfriendsnetwork.com, or you can download my app in the App Store, Faith Plus Favor with Coach Misty. So much new content coming. I cannot wait to share. I cannot wait to pour, because I now understand my capacity. I understand my pour. I understand that my pour got smaller, but my capacity got fuller, and now I'm pouring in more than one cup. Somebody say, help me, Holy Ghost. So y'all pray for me as I pray for you, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. God bless.